Any ads heard during this episode that are not in our voice are placed by third-party agencies. They should not be considered the opinion of or to be endorsed by Hoosier Myths and Legends.
Welcome to another episode of the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast.
I'm Rebecca Wilhelm.
I'm Mary Quigley.
And I'm Hope Wilhelm.
Join us as we dive into the spookier side of the Hoosier state.
So what comes to your mind when you think of Indiana? Do you think of corn? Do you think of basketball? Do you think of the Indianapolis 500? Maybe you think of famous celebrities who were born in Indiana, like John Mellencamp or Michael Jackson.
But as the saying goes, there is more than corn in Indiana. 92 counties make up the Hoosier state. In this podcast, we are going to discuss some Indiana folklore from each of these counties. If you are into tall tales, ghosts, or spooky legends, then this is a podcast you are not going to want to miss. The story we have for you today is from Evansville, Indiana.
August 1955 was a very hot summer in Evansville, Indiana. To beat the heat, Naomi Johnson and her friend Louise Lample decided to take Naomi's 3 children to the Ohio River for the day. However, while swimming that day, Naomi had a terrifying experience when she was suddenly grabbed and dragged underwater by a strange creature with a rough, claw-like hand. Although she managed to break free, her leg was left with a green, slimy stain. Since then, the incident has been widely regarded as a cryptid sighting, with some speculating that it even could be linked to other strange phenomena occurring around that time, including UFO activity. So turn down the lights, relax, get comfy, and settle in as we bring you an unsolved mystery that baffles many to this day, the green-clawed beast.
So if you have been following our podcast, you know that Becky loves a good cryptid story.
Yes, I do, and the wilder the better.
Have you ever heard of the green-clawed beast?
Now, I actually did hear about this legend when I was a student at Vincennes University, which you know is not that far from Evansville.
I had not heard about this until we started researching the legend. It's really interesting.
It really is a wild case that honestly sounds like something straight out of a monster movie.
It really does. Unfortunately, this is a legend that happened. There was a witness.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
On August 21st, 1955, a woman named Naomi Johnson decided to take her 3 children swimming in the Ohio River to beat the summer heat. Her friend Louise Lample came along.
Now, Louise was not as strong of a swimmer as Naomi was, so she brought along a big black rubber inner tube.
The ladies didn't go out far into the water that day.
No, an article I read said that the ladies only went out about 15 feet into the water.
The children stayed on the shore.
So keep in mind that they were only in the water for a few minutes when at first it just felt like something furry brushed up against Naomi's leg.
Out of nowhere, she says, something grabbed her leg, like really grabbed her. Naomi was then dragged underneath the water.
Now, her friend Louise was nearby in an inner tube. So Louise hears Naomi scream, and she turns around just in time to witness Naomi being pulled underneath of the water.
Apparently, the attack went on and on for several minutes. Every time Naomi would swim to the surface, she would be pulled back down again and again.
And it eventually came to an end when Louise moved her inner tube over to Naomi and over the top of where this thing was.
While that alone sounds terrifying, what is even worse is the description Naomi gave of the thing that grabbed her.
Now, Naomi later reported that it felt like some type of a rough, clawed hand, And when she fought her way back to the surface, her leg had this weird green stain on it, and it wouldn't wash off right away either.
We came upon a really interesting 97.9 article called "The Green-Clawed Beast is an Unknown Creature Patrolling the Ohio River at Evansville, Indiana." It was written by Bill Love on February 1st, 2021. According to this article, Naomi had lots of cuts, scrapes, and scratches on her lower leg when medical help got there. There was something really strange, though, a blue-green mark that was about the size of a large hand that would not wash off of Naomi's leg.
Now, Bill Love's article also mentions that this weird mark, it lasted for several days.
I can't imagine going through that and then the mark will not wash off.
It's very creepy. And so what do they think it was that grabbed Naomi?
There are a lot of theories out there. We'll be back after a short break to discuss what it might be that's lurking in the Ohio River near Evansville. Stay tuned. Are you an Indiana small business owner looking to reach a wider audience?
Consider partnering with the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast directly to advertise your business.
Our listeners are passionate, engaged, and love supporting local businesses just like yours. By advertising with us, you'll connect directly with a community that values what Indiana has to offer.
Promote your business with the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast and watch your customer base grow. Ready to make your mark? Contact us today at HoosierMythsandLegends@gmail.com and let's bring your business to the forefront. So another creepy piece of information is a legend that has been added to this incident in the years that followed.
Yes, mentioned in Bill Love's article is an interesting quote from the Obscurban Urban Legend Wikia page. Quote, "A short time later, a man claiming to be an Air Force colonel came to the Johnsons' house and instructed Naomi to never speak of the incident. There have been no reported sightings since," end quote.
So this is often told when someone's repeating or retelling this legend, and it adds another creepy element to it for sure.
It reminds me of the Men in Black stories.
You know what, Mary? It really does.
In a lot of alien or cryptid stories, someone from the government comes to tell the victim to never repeat the story or else they will be sorry.
I think it makes the stories even more ominous.
Let's get into a few thoughts on what it could have been that grabbed Naomi.
That same Bill Love article gave a couple of interesting theories on this.
The article mentioned a fish called a garfish.
Now, according to the Google, this fish is most often seen in the Atlantic Ocean, Mediterranean, Caribbean, Black, and the Baltic Seas. However, there are species of it that have been found in the Ohio River over the years.
Google mentions several species of garfish that have been found, including long-nosed gar, spotted gar, short-nosed gar, and the alligator gar.
Specifically, the spotted and the short-nosed have been spotted in the Ohio River from Kentucky all the way to the Mississippi River.
Apparently, there are stories and records of very large fish being spotted in the Ohio River near Evansville in the 1950s.
And Bill Love's article also mentions a catfish that is on record for that time period that weighed 104 pounds.
That's really wild. Can't imagine catching a fish that big.
And we will be back with a few more ideas of what the green-clawed beast could be. Stay tuned. So the next possible explanation that has come up over the years would be, of course, aliens.
I knew you were going to say that.
So besides aliens, there's also many people who believe that this green-clawed beast is some kind of an amphibious, reptilian type of creature.
Native American lore talks about many creatures like this that lurk in rivers and lakes.
And they do have all sorts of legends of big fish and creatures like this.
There is also the less exciting theory out there that the beast was just something in the girl's imagination.
And this theory suggests that, yes, something did happen to the girls out there on that hot day in August 1955, but they think their minds just got away from them and caused them to see something that was not there.
People who support this idea believe that it was one of these big garfish or even a large catfish that Naomi saw. They believe the scratches were made by a piece of driftwood or some type of debris in the water that day.
Yes, and Bill Love's article mentions that two movies that were out and popular at this time were The Creature from the Black Lagoon and the follow-up movie, The Creature.
It's thought that the girls still may have had the movies in the back of their minds, and when they saw the fish, their minds just made the event more than what it was.
I'm not personally sold on this theory, though.
I'm not either.
For one thing, it does not explain that green stain that lasted on Naomi's leg for several days after this incident.
I also think that theory dismisses whatever it was that happened to the girls that day.
I agree.
Have you ever had an experience with the green-clawed beast or something strange in the Ohio River? What do you believe it was that grabbed Naomi Johnson's leg that day? We would love to hear your theories or a story of your own. Please send us an email to HoosierMythsAndLegends@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media. We may use it in a later episode. In the email, let us know if you wish to remain anonymous.
To see our source material, please visit our website, HoosierMythsAndLegends.com. Please find us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and now Twitter. Hoosier Myths and Legends is a Quigley Productions podcast.
Our theme song was written and recorded by Wet Blanket. The song title is Taxidermy Race Car.
As always, stay spooky.